Howdy, this is going to be a pretty quick and simple video. I figured out how to do a couple things that I was having issues with and just couldn't refigure out on my own. But I played around with it a lot last night and finally figured it out. So I saw in the past that there was a way that you could set up the resources up here for some of your features that actually have a cost and had multiple uses, but I just could not for the life of me remember how to reset them up, and then I just happened to play around with the setting, and all of a sudden it popped up and then it showed up again. So um, to get a feature that actually has a usage that you want to see on the main attributes page, like so this one, the font of magic. So for my sorcery points, I would just type in font of magic, as I can't spell again, um, and it would restore on a long rest, and then you would just put in how many uses you have and long rests. And now when you go to the actual feature and you go to edit it for the details, instead of like normally you don't have to double fill this out. So limited uses is literally all you have to fill out. I was when I was testing things, trying to figure out exactly how to get it to work, and I just couldn't figure it out. So you don't need to fill out this top section and the bottom section at the same time. But for this one, instead of doing item usage, you actually go to attribute and you click the primary value or secondary value or tertiary value, depending on whichever one you filled out. So for this one, it's going to be the primary value, and you can actually set up a cost. So if something's very specific, that's a cost, you put that number in here, which I'll show in just a second. But it's 15 of 15 per long rest, attribute primary source, and it'll go there. So, and then when you go to your attributes, you'll have your font of magic. So let's throw him on the screen real quick so you can see. And of course, my token didn't update. So let me update that real quick. Whoops. In worlds and characters and where are you? I think it's hero token. There it is. Okay. Update. Alright, and we'll delete you. And boom. Alright, there we go. So now on your features, it's still double showing, font of magic and font of magic, because I actually forgot to turn the one thing off right here. I needed to take this off, otherwise it'll double show. That was my own fault. All right, so now when you close that and you have your attributes, you have your 15, your font of magic. You go to your features. Now it's just showing just the one. And so when you click it, it'll automatically drop one. And so now when you set up your features, so for subtle spell, it says that when you cast a spell, you can spend one sorcery point to cast it without using the semantic or verbal cost. So you would go down here, you would type 1, you would do attribute primary resource value 1, and then close that out. Same thing for Hound of Ill Omen. It costs 3 charges, and it automatically show that there of the attributes that it's going to use up. That's actually how I figured it out. It was on the Hound of Ill Omen, and I was like, wait a minute. And so with Quicken Spell, use one action, you can spend 2 sorcery points. So, and then it's 2 sorcery points, and then attribute that, and then primary value, and then this actually costs, like this, the time of an action you can spend, yeah, and then it changed the time to casting for 1 bonus action. Okay, so you have 2 attribute value, close, and so now you'll actually see with the features. So the Hound of Ill Omen was going to cost 3, so when I activate it, I'll have to target somebody. And it automatically deducted 3. So I was messing around on my laptop, the Hound of Omen, on my other computer, so I haven't fixed it on this one just yet. And I actually changed it up a little bit to make it a little bit more convenient. But same thing with like Quicken Spell. When you activate it, it took away 2. Subtle Spell took away 1, and makes that a lot easier and more consistent. Also, too, when you have the heads-up display, which I've been playing around with a lot lately, you can right-click on something and you can go into it and edit it for whatever you need. So say if you know on the DM side you kind of messed up, how many things were supposed to cost, you could just right click on something and it could pull it up for you to make it a little bit easier. I also sometimes don't like seeing the passives on there, especially if some of the passives aren't actively being used for anything. So like I need to refix the strength of the grave on this one because this is it's more of an active one that when you get dropped to 1 HP or to enough to die, then you can roll your charisma saving throw to potentially restore yourself and come back with 1 HP. But another thing that I was playing around with was the Hexblade Curse. So I was playing around with that last night. So there's a module that I I tried it a little bit last night, and I was having some issues with it. So another person commented on one of my video and said that, especially with the effects that have just like a single turn use, or have they only just last for the one round, then you can create or you can use this module to kind of bypass the dynamic active effects, not recognizing that there is a time limit on some of the effects. And I finally figured out what gives you the effects on the token action hood is you have to be updated to the most current version of 0.7.8. And once I updated it, it popped up. I mean, I closed every single world I had, uninstalled the module, reinstalled the module, tested 20 different ways to get the effects to pop up on my screen, and I could do it when I was on the Forge, but I couldn't do it on just the regular base Foundry program, and I could not figure out why. But once I updated, boom, it immediately popped up. So I think just with the most recent update, they added the effects tab to be able to show up on the token action hood, because I even created the book and tried to add in effects, and it still didn't even recognize it, and it didn't show anything. But now that I know that, it made it a lot easier. So just pretty much just update your game and you'll be able to get the effects tab, because to me that is one of the most beneficial tabs to be able to activate the effects, especially when you're using dynamic active effects. So prime example, so the Hexblade Curse, which we'll pull up real quick so you can see, and then I'll make an effect real quick so you can kind of see how you can do it two different ways. So with this one, I would go to I would basically take the effects and add it to I'm going to import it into my items menu. So with Hexblade Curse, going to add it here, and I usually keep like one of them pulled up to the side so I can make sure I add all the abilities correctly. So the only thing I had issues with, and I couldn't create exactly right, is the heal. Now I can create the heal, but I don't know of a way to code it to heal only just for when you kill an enemy, opposed to just a heal every single time you attack, and I don't want to do that. So I created the heal when I first did it, and then I turned it off immediately. So you want to make sure that the effect is suspended and that you transfer the effect on the actor when it is equipped. So you can do the duration, so you can set it up for 1 minute, so you could do 360 seconds, or you could do 10 rounds, the standard time for a regular a regular 1 minute interval of 10 rounds. So then you're gonna add your proficiency bonus to your damage rolls. So for that one, that is going to just be flat damage rolls. So it is literally just bonus to all damage rolls and just a flat value of 5. He's level 15, so his proficiency bonus is +5. Also, you're going to make a critical hit roll on a 19 or 20. So to do that, what you're going to do is actually you're going to flag spell critical threshold and then flag weapon critical threshold, and then you're going to override, and then 19 and 19. And then the only other effect is you gain hit points equal to your warlock level plus your charisma modifier. That's the only thing that I had a little issues doing. But for him, he's only got 3 levels in warlock, and I think his charisma modifier is +4, so that's 7 health. So it's pretty easy to remember to heal 7 health whenever he kills something, and then before he changes the target to something else. But that's literally all you gotta do for that. I always have it just turned off, so that way when I go back and forth, I can turn it on and off. But you got to make sure you select to transfer the effect to the player. So once I do that, this is the old one. It does not have the effect on it. So I'll delete it. I'll drag the new one on, and it'll now have the effects that's going to be on there. The effects will now show up on the sheet. So, and then literally just to toggle it, you would toggle it. So now he has the Hexblade Omen on. So, or he has the Hexblade Curse on. So to test it, you would literally just attack, which you can just do a crossbow. And I want to try to get a 19 so that you can see. I just don't know how long it's going to take me to roll a 19. I know the rolls. So I think this is a 19. Yep. So there's a 19. So there's your critically hit on a 19. So that overrided that. So that's a way that you can know for sure that you can do it, because you can do it another way, but it's more of a permanent means. Now if you're doing something that gives you an effect that allows you to do it, then you can do it that way by going under special traits, and you can override it this way, where you can give yourself just a flat weapon bonus, or you could just do the where's it on here? I'm losing it. There's a critical hit. For some reason I just cannot read right now. There it is, critical weapon threshold right here in the middle. I was losing my mind. You can adjust it this way, but that's more of a permanent effect. This way you can do it temporary, and once you disable the effect and you start rolling again, see if we can get a critical hit. See, that was a 1, another 1. Do. Never rolls a 20. My goodness. Because I know we saw 27. Wow, I've ran 4 ones already. Jesus. Let's see. Hello, JoJo. 27 was a 19 before, yeah, and that doesn't show the critical hit anymore. So I guess that's a good enough representation of that. Also with the token action hood, there's going to be a bajillion of these. So with the token action hood, sometimes having the passives just really clogs up your screen. So you can go to the settings, and you can actually adjust the token action hood, and you can have it to ignore the passive feats, and it'll take them off to make it look less clogged. And then it makes it a little bit clean. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But that's pretty much it. I really love, and then it even shows the effects when you set up a certain way as a temporary effect. Now with the one module, the times up module. Yes, JoJo, give me 1 second. I'm almost finished. I know, baby. Give me just a second. Once that one, you can set up, about time, and I usually do the about time and then the times up, so that way you actually have a which I don't have my calendar. I don't have my calendar module loaded on this one right now, so can't really display like that, and plus my child's not letting me. So that's going to do it for this one. I'll see you in the next one, and y'all have a good day.